Try it.
Pruébalo, está bien bueno, pruébalo. That's it, it's fine.
One thing y'all should know is I hate honey, and I only did this because I saw people eat honeycomb all over TikTok and I wanted to try it. I hate honey. I just wanted the satisfaction because I said everyone doing it looks good. It's not good though. Voy a poner esto aquí. A ver si me ven. O si no.
¿Para qué lo quieres ahí?
Para que vean ver de afuera. Porque no puedo. Pero no quiero que se caiga. Ojalá que se quede quieto.
El de este lado es el que se ve.
Sí.
Si le quitas el pie, el carro camina.
Slow.
Tú no te preocupes, tú respira profundo y al pasito no pasa nada. Así ya te voy bien cuál es el freno y cuál es el acelerador. Porque aquí no hay ningún carro.
Yesterday, but I didn't like the video that I filmed afterwards, where I was explaining it. So basically I was terrified for like a cool minute. So basically I'm used to that site where we drive. It's an hour and like 30 minutes. Basically we're like going to Mexicali basically, and like there was cows. It was like in the middle of nowhere, and my grandpa, we went through this place. It was like this place where you have to go through the carretera. It's like carretera. It's like this place where there's like big ass trucks, and it's like trailers, like big ass cars, and like you have to go fast there. And it's like a freeway but on the mountain. So as you can imagine, it's like just twists and turns, and it's terrifying for a person who does not drive. So we go through there, and then we finally, after like an hour and like 20 minutes of driving, we reached like this little like ranchito, which is like, it's just like not dirt, but it's like a little, you just go in and there's like no cars at all, like none. There's probably like one or two cars and that you'll see, and that's it. And there's like a big way, like long way in that little rancho, and before you actually get to the like ranchos, like somewhat like city where there's like actual like food places and stuff, and where there's more cars, and basically I went, so it was like 30 minutes of going there and then going back. So going there was like 30 minutes, coming back was another 30 minutes, but my grandpa was like, let's go again. So I'm like, okay. So it was like 2 hours of driving. So after that, I really needed to pee. Like, I needed to use the bathroom real bad. TMI, but yeah. So it's just part of the story. So then my grandpa, once we finally get back, it was already like almost 9 p.m. I know, 9 p.m. So it was already dark. And my grandpa goes, okay, now let's go home. I'm like, Sirski, you best not think that I'm gonna drive home. He made me drive home. But I mean, he said it, he was like, if you really don't want to do it, I'll drive. But like, are you sure? Like, you drive pretty good. Because I was driving like, okay. At first, in the video that you see, I was driving really slow. But that's because I was getting used to it. But once I got used to it, I was speed driving, okay? I was like normal person driving. Not like speed, but I was going like 45, which is in a place that was 60, like it was decent. So then then I was like, fine, I'll do it. But I was like, it's dark, my eyes are gonna deceive me. So I swear on my life, I kept seeing things that weren't there. Like, I kept thinking I was gonna hit stuff, because I swear I saw like a big ass sign that I thought I was gonna hit, but it wasn't there. So I started going to the side a little bit to like avoid it. And my grandpa thought I was about to like go off. I'm like, no, it's because I saw something, but I guess it wasn't there. He was like, oh, okay. So when we were in the carretera, bro, it was the most scariest thing. I had to put like my emergency lights so people could pass me at first, but then I turned them off because then I got used to it. But like, dude, I was so scared every time I saw like big ass trucks were coming at me, like, and I couldn't see because their headlights are even brighter. So like I couldn't see. I felt like blind. I was like, what the heck? So I was just like, oh no, this is not good for me. But it wasn't too bad. Anyways, then there was like big ass cars. I was trying to avoid them. Like, my biggest fear is just driving around big cars and driving with cars on a freeway. I feel like freeways are honestly easier to drive on. I'm more scared of the streets, so I was okay, but I was just scared of the big ass trucks because it's a carretera. And so then finally, once we got off that street, which is like an hour and 20 minutes of driving, my grandpa goes, no, midway, I was like, but I really need to pee. Like, I need to pee super bad. He was like, okay, we'll stop by this place where you could pee. So midway, there's like this place where you could pee. It's kind of like a little rest stop, I guess. And so he was like, okay, turn in here. I'm like, what? And since I had my like emergency lights on, oh, and mind you, that halfway, I started, it's not even confidence, bro. I thought I was going like 30 because that's what my grandpa told me to go. But bro, I realized I was literally going 50 miles per hour. And then once I slowed down to 30, I felt like I was going turtle speed. And I was like, bro, like, this is boring. Or like, I felt like it was like super slow. Like, it felt like I was not even going 30. So I was like, nah, I gotta step it up. My grandpa was like, it's okay, drive 40. So I drove 40. But then I accidentally went back to 50. Like, I didn't even realize, because it was mostly like going downhill too. So it would catch some like wet. It would catch some like wet, or like your car would just boom, like, you know, catch a little more speed. So once we got there, I so complicated, bro. I had to park in a parking spot next to like 2 cars. So I did that. I didn't die. And then I embarrassed myself in front of the lady who was like cleaning the bathrooms, and she was like, oh, like, she was trying to explain to me like I had to open the door before because we had to put like, it was 5 pesos to use a bathroom, and it was like one of those doors that like you roll, if I understand, like one of those metal gates where like there's a gate and like you have to like roll through it, if that makes sense. So she was like, oh, you have to do it before it like you have to hold the door, like go really fast because then it locks again. I know what she meant. So finally I understood. I was embarrassing. I went to the bathroom, came out, and then once we started going back and we finally reached the main street. My grandpa's like, okay, here you can't be going 50 because it's like the street in Mexico is kind of crazy. So look, driving in la carretera is one thing, but driving on the street in Mexico is the most terrifying thing you'll ever feel, I swear. So it was already pitch dark, but I feel like there was a little bit more lights because like there was some more lights because it was like in the street. But then we had to do some twisties and turnies, and I was like, vroom. I had to like actually in like a main street, like I had to go like all the way around, cross. It was so freaking. And there were so many altos, which is altos. Altos are like the red stop signs, and so I had like stop multiple times. I was like, because I swear I didn't see them. So my grandpa was like, oh, there's an alto right there. Okay. So then we finally then my grandpa goes, you want to go to Oxxo? Mans, of course. So I was like, okay, let's go to Oxxo, which Oxxo is like a 7-Eleven in Mexico. But then we finally got there, and we were supposedly gonna go to an Oxxo where the carretera was at, like near there. Like once we got off, it was still like empty-ish. But my grandma was like, no, I don't want a coffee from there because once you guys get back, it's gonna be cold. So my grandpa's like, okay, we'll go to the one next to the house, which in the house where our house is, it's like where the street is. So there are so many cars. I had to maneuver. I almost crashed. No, I didn't. But some car was like, it was my turn to go, and for some reason the car was in front of me. Even my grandpa told me, he was like, it's your turn to go. So I started turning, and then the car started going at me, and I'm like, back the freak up. New driver here. Don't scare me. So then he finally stopped, and then I went in, and then parking was a hard part, bro. I was parked so crooked, and then my grandpa had to help me like through inside the car, so I was like reversing, going forward. Finally, I got the parking, and we went in, got a coffee, and then coming out was a struggle, but I did it. And then I went home. And the streets are worse than Compton's streets. Like, if you guys have ever been in Compton, like, the Compton streets are so bad. Like, there's potholes everywhere. And literally, when I tell you, they were worse. Like, they were bad. If you think Compton's bad, bro, I mean, Compton has the resources to fix it, but they don't do it. Here, they don't. Or, you know, so I understand, but, like, ooh, it was horrible. It was horrible. Anyways, I was like, it felt like I was on a roller coaster. But yeah, that's my little story. And yeah.